1-800-919-3776. Kirby on Long Island. You're on ESPN New York.
How's it going, Bill? What's up, brother?
Talk to me, man.
Yeah, now, let me get to this D'Antoni thing right here. Now, I think the addition of Billups is really going, with that floor general, is really going to take some heat off of him. I think his leadership and his big shot making skills, I think that's really going to propel his team to possibly, upset in the first round, I mean, there are only two finals MVP point guards. That's Billups and Tony Parker. So, I mean, this guy, I think if Billups is healthy and there's nothing wrong with him, I think the Knicks, they can surprise some people, And I feel things of that Amari and Carmelo, they won't be able to mesh together. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. These are guys that can score. I think they make it easier for each other because you can't focus on Amari. You can't circle in on him because you got to worry about Carmelo. I think it's going to fuck things. I mean, D'Antoni runs a free running offense anyway, so they'll be all right. You got Billups there. That show is going to be moving, and they're going to surprise people. And I'm just excited to be a Knicks fan. I'm a first time right now. This is a
first time call. We love first time callers. You keep coming back. Again, look, this thing is all about. This thing, Kirby, is all about now Mike D'Antoni making the pieces mesh. You're absolutely right. As a great leader, great floor general, and Chauncey Billups. But how much does he let Billups lead? He's got two outstanding wing players, two all-star wing players in Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire. Let me say it differently. In Amari Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony. Because understand this, what the Knicks are all about at this moment is all about Amari Stoudemire. 1-800-919-3776. Bruce is in Manhattan. Bruce, you're on ESPN New York.
Hey, Bill. Good night.
What's up, Bruce?
Hey, I've been listening to the callers and you and Stephen A. Smith, and I got to agree with the sentiment. I think D'Antoni's going to be exposed as a mediocre coach. It was proven fact when he was with the Olympics. They had to bring a defensive specialist out and let D'Antonio do the offense only. So, is someone going to come down from the front office like Mr. Houston and come down and step up next to him and show him how to do it? What do you think of that?
I don't know that Allen Houston is all that well-versed on defense because if you remember correctly, Allen Houston was not a defensive player during his NBA career.
Yeah, I realize that, but, somebody's got to come down here and spread the news to him because, that's probably the one thing that I think that is going to be the Achilles heel in this transition period.
What I really think is going to happen here, I really, really think that Mike D'Antoni is going to play it out this season, and if there's a catastrophic failure in the playoffs directly related to defense, then he's going to have some problems. If it's not, if his team just simply gets outscored in close games, no matter who they play in the playoffs, I don't think it'll be a problem that will lead to anybody losing their job. I really don't. Not at this point.
Well, not at this point, but I could just see it. Maybe that's one of the aces of Donnie.
We're getting way down the road now. Again, the Knick plan is all about 2012. Even with this trade, they're still going to sing the same tune when they talk to you officially. It's about 2012. Let's see what happens.
Right, but they got the pieces in place now to shake up the
They got the pieces in place now to contend, but I don't think they're a championship team yet.
No, definitely not a championship team. You know me.
Like I said, they're a lot better than they were 24 hours ago. But now let's see if their coach can do what's necessary to get them to that next level. Let's talk to Frank. Frank's in Eastchester. You're on ESPN New York, Frank.
Bill, what's going on, man?
Talk to me, brother.
Couple points I want to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, with D'Antoni's system, I know we can say he might not win, he might, whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
He's never really coached an elite scorer from the wing. He's always had a great point guard, which he usually chooses. If you remember, he brought in Duhon, he brought in Felton, and a couple problems I see happening is him and Billups clashing, because I think Billups is going to want to have a more active role in leading the team. And I've never seen him, in his history, he's never coached an elite scorer from the wing. And if you watch a Melo game, sometimes the ball usually stops with Melo. I don't know how.
Slow down with Carmelo from time to time, but I think also that that's a little bit of a bad rap. If you watch Denver enough, Carmelo gets to the basket with frequency, and the ball doesn't have to slow down that much for it to get there.
Oh, no, Bill, I'm not mad about the Melo thing at all. I mean, I couldn't be happy to see Gallinari out of town, by the way. But I think it's interesting to see if Billups and D'Antoni clash. And I know a lot of people are very down on Anthony Randolph, but do you think we maybe gave up on him a little too quickly?
Do you think Golden State gave up on him too quickly, and they had him for 3 years?
Yeah, but they got David Lee. I mean, that was an all-star they got him. I don't know.
No. You're not answering the question. Do you think Golden State gave up on him a little too early? Because a lot of people were killing Don Nelson, saying that he messed his kid's career up. Well, wait a minute. He did play a little bit under Don Nelson, but really never established himself, really never figured out a role. And even now, as he leaves the New York Knicks, he's a player who still hasn't figured out who he is.
I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things with the D'Antoni doghouse where people get it, they never get out of it.
Stop with the D'Antoni doghouse. Knock it off. Anthony Randolph in the D'Antoni doghouse. First he gets hurt early in the season. Then when he gets in a game, he looks like he's lost. You're going to play that player? And you never gave me an adequate answer or a satisfactory answer for what transpired in Golden State. Lottery pick, 13th overall pick out of LSU after 1 year of school. And the guy couldn't find his way into Golden State's starting lineup. And the Warriors were terrible. They were terrible. You know, and somebody opened my eyes to that earlier this year when we were in Oakland. He got buried on Donnie's bench. On Donnie Nelson's bench. Well, the Knicks had high hopes for this kid when he came in. What'd they show him? We're in Minnesota one night, and Anthony Randolph is talking about video game dunks and a great jump shot. Figure it out, kid. That's not what keeps you in this league. What is that one thing that you can do without fail if I wake you up on a June morning and say, Anthony, perform? He still doesn't know. The curse of gifts and versatility. Because it's gotten Anthony Randolph traded to his third team in just 4 years in the NBA. 1-800-919-3776, Doghouse. Dan in Rockland, you're on ESPN New York.
Hey, Bill, thanks for taking my call.
What's up, Dan?
I just wanted to say, all the people who have talked about how the Knicks gave up too much, I just want them to realize that the Knicks renounced the rights of Wilson Chandler. They signed Raymond Felton to a 2-year deal, knowing that Chris Paul and Darren Williams were free agents in the summer of 2012, and they were probably, because of the new CBA, going to have to renounce the rights of Danilo Gallinari, making him a free agent after next summer.
And we don't know about that last thing. The first two things you are factually correct on. We don't know about that last thing, and I haven't heard anybody say the Knicks gave up too much. I haven't heard that tonight. Has not been a part of the conversation. Hakeem is in Brooklyn. You're on ESPN New York, Hakeem.
Hey, what's the deal, Bill?
Hakeem, turn down the radio. Talk to me. What do you got?
Hey, Bill, remember I told you in October we was getting Carmelo? I told you.
Hakeem, get off the speakerphone. Call me back. We can have a conversation. Mike on Long Island. You're on ESPN New York.
Yeah, Bill, first time, long time.
Long first-time callers, Mike. You keep coming back. What do you got?
Yeah, it's actually Mark.
They put Mike on the screen. Sorry.
All right. Don't worry about it. First of all, I'm all pumped about this Melo thing. It's finally the Melo Drama is coming to an end. Or I said came to an end. I love Gallo. I wish him all the best, obviously. And I just actually have 3 questions. First of all, the Anthony Randolph draft pick that got back to the T-Wolves, where's that going? Is that going to the Knicks or is that going to Denver?
The draft pick goes to the New York Knicks.
All right, so they get to hold on to that. That's good. That's this year's draft?
That is this year's draft.
All right, good. Also, who do you think the Knicks have a bigger need for? Dwight Howard, maybe? Just go after him and his presence in the paint and everything? Or Darren Williams or Chris Paul?
Can we find out how Carmelo Anthony fits here before we go to the next level and getting guys from teams that are already playing for teams? Did you hear what Darren Williams said over the weekend? Until you hear it come from my mouth, I'm not talking about going to New York. 1-800-919-3776. Daughtry with you till 1 o'clock on ESPN New York tonight.
Anthony is a New York Knick, get used to hearing this.
Carmelo at the rim with a slam. He's got him, Art. He does.
With a lot more of this.
Oh, my goodness. Knicks win it.
Knicks basketball. The games are here on 1050 ESPN, New York.